Hey, what's up, guys? It's Xantho here. Back with PoE 1, doing the Legacy of Phrecia event that I'm going to be playing tomorrow. Glad to be back to the game that got me started in the ARPG genre for the last 12 years, actually. And I'm going to be running an Ancestral Commander build. Unfortunately, I do not have any footage of this character because I haven't put it together. I don't have a level Marauder to slap on the stuff. And it's kind of made possible by the newest Commander Ascendancy, so I don't really have a way to make it be possible right now. I can run a scuff version with Combs Command right now, but I don't have a low Marauder right now, so that's a big issue. I know for a fact this build actually will work. I know that for an absolute fact. So it is unfortunate I don't have footage right now, but bear with me. So what is this build? This is a Ancestral Commander Warcry Corpse Explode build using Combs Command and the new Ascendancy that gives Death Rattle, which is nearby corpses explode when you Warcry, dealing 12% of their life as physical damage. And this is the second node behind the Call the Ancestors, which is 120% Warcry CDR and 30% reduced Warcry speed. So this basically just explodes corpses for a bunch of damage and stacks the Combs Command for 22% with a max roll. And this can be scaled to the moon and back, actually. The way I'm doing this is with a Cyclone, Unearth, Castspell Channeling setup. Now you can use Castspell Channeling, the actual gem, to start off with, but I'm actually using a Shaper Staff. Now this is a pretty good staff right here. It's got, you know, T1 fire damage, plus 3 fizz, and Castspell Channeling, and simply multi-modded. I'm not sure how difficult this is going to be. I haven't actually done the emulator on Craft of Exile yet. But and then you just finish it off with a +1 physical spell, Runecraft enchant, because this is a Settlers-based league. And this is to beef up both your support gems for enhanced and power to get a higher level on Earth, and then enhanced boosts on Earth's quality, which is also corpse life. So every 2.76 times a second. So every 0.35 seconds, we're spawning 5 corpses on Earth. And then every 0.693 seconds, we're blowing them up. I actually need to make this a little bit less, because it'll overlap here. Let's take a couple of Warcry CDR nodes away. CDR tattoos. There we go, that works. So you spawn corpses, spawn 2 sets of corpses, so 5. And then caps out at 10. The total cap is 10 corpses for any source, other than if you use Undertaker here. So Desecrate has a cap of 10 corpses, Corpse Walker has a cap of 10 corpses, and Unearth has a cap of 10 corpses. But they all stack independently of each other, up to a maximum of 30 if you have all 3. I am not using any other ones because it's simply inefficient to actually use Desecrate. I'm just using Unearth because it's the highest corpse life possible. And up to 136,323. So, and you're basically getting a base fizz explosion, which we're then scaling with Avatar Fire, Magmatic Strikes, you know, converting it all to fire, getting the Warcry CDR as low as possible, spawning corpses, blowing them up. Kind of a simple concept, but I feel like the way I've done this is pretty solid. I would also like to shout out your user Zerosad. For tipping me off to this. They had posted in a builds thread about what, you know, weird builds people are trying to do, and he posted his version of this. I've really reworked it completely reworked it from scratch. Scaling AoE more, going in cluster jewels, getting towering threat, vast power. Now this is going to be a weird one because I'm not actually scaling power charges. However, I can have 3 power charges all the time because of up mentality. And I'm actually going to have 30 Warcry power without Red Blade Banner, mostly because General's Cry counts the power from the corpses. So the unique enemy is going to be 20, and then the corpses are going to push that up to 30. So, Auras, Termination, Herald of Ash, Purity. This is the Corpse Generation, Cyclone, Unearth, GMP. Of course, with a Castspell Channeling from a staff. You can use just like Scepters, +1 fizz, and some fire damage scepters, of course, where you get that Giga staff. Power, life tap, enhance. Just get the corpse life as high as possible. Versus, I'm using an Anathema setup. My ability, Element Weakness, Punishment, Arcanist Brand. What else? Molten Shell, General's Cry, then just General Cry or Auto Exertion, which is actually the Warcry that's going to be triggering the explosions. And Molten Shell's ticked off because taking Molten Shell on is just POB padding. Infernal Cry, more duration, wave of conviction, combustion. This is just to get extra fizz as fire. I do not use this for clearing. Mostly because when enemies are afflicted with Infernal Cry, they explode on death, which means you can't explode them again. So if they die to your corpse explosions, they're not going to leave behind corpses. So in dense content, you're basically going to kill enemies with a corpse explosion. They're going to leave corpses, then you're going to blow them up again, and you're going to have this kind of chain reaction effect where it just blows up a ton of corpses and does a ton of damage. Now let's get to damage here. How much damage are we actually doing? Well, we're spawning 10 corpses every time before we do General's Cry every time. And our General's Cry has a cooldown of 0.726. So we're doing 14.3 General's Cries per second. And how much damage are we doing with all our explosions? 2.371209 million. So 2 million, 14.3 times 2,371,209. About 34 million DPS. This is within Empower and Enhance and everything, so that's not going to be early, and this is a really good staff. But early on, you're actually going to be doing pretty solid DPS. I just have, basic life res gear, essentially, and then we just Eldritch Simplicits. This is a Essence of Hysteria, I believe, crafted ring. So that's not going to be super cheap, but this is kind of the end game version of the build. Sort of pseudo end game, because once again, this gear is actually not that amazing, and you can get a lot more damage out of stuff by doing other things. But yeah, Wise Oak, just a Quicksilver Flask, just damage, fire damage, life, jewels, Theorycraft, Vast Power, Lead by Example, Mob Mentality, and then Prismatic Heart, Smoke and Remains, Widespread Destruction. So how this build is going to play is you're just going to cycling around, spawning corpses, blowing corpses up, big explosions. 2.8 doesn't seem like a big explosion. However, we go to the explosions here. 2.8 meters is actually quite large. I have the characters here. 2.8 meters is actually quite big. You're going to be not just spawning corpses right. Well, of course, you're going to be spawning corpses right on top of yourself with Unearth, cast while channeling. But then also you're going to be blowing up corpses at the edge of your Warcry. Ones that you kill at the edge of your Warcry, they're going to be blowing up 2.8 meters from that explosion. So if we go to our General Cry here, the AoE is absolutely enormous. So if there's any corpses anywhere on the screen, you're going to be blowing everything up. Now the actual explosions themselves from this radius are only going to be 2.8 meters, which is still pretty big. But the Warcry itself is going to reach everything basically. That is a huge Warcry. Now I do have a couple things to solve, and that is a kind of mana sustain is going to be a little bit of an issue. I can probably just slap Clarity in somewhere and get some mana regen on Rings or Amulet. Actually, no Amulet, I'm using Ashes of the Stars. But other than that, it's going to be fun. Peace out.